Hi, J Palmer. Assuming you can hear me. That's one of the things we're testing right now. Hey, King Venomui. Hey, Rax. Hey, Doom Rider. That's actually good. Alive is not the word I would say. I do have a computer. So that's nice. I'm setting up the worst vote right now, for those of you who knows what that means. For those of you who don't, I'll explain. In a minute. I'll explain it in a minute. So let's see, 62. Can you nominate the Lord of the Rings game? What Lord of the Rings game? If you're gonna do it right this second, because I'm jotting down the worst games for the poll now. Like, that's literally what I'm doing. Okay, sure. Where's the there we go. Lord of the Rings Tactics. There, well, done. It's in. We're good. Moving on. Hey, Judo Joker. 1 second, please. Oh, God. Okay. You gotta clarify for me. You gotta work with me here. It has been a hell of a day, hell of a 3 weeks, and oh my god. I'm actually kind of brain dead today in general because I am fighting off something, which is fun. It's true. Every single time I take a dark, 100% of the time, I get sick. I have never had a dark where I haven't gotten sick. It's like my body, my immune system's like, hang on. Okay, he's not streaming. Okay, I'm falling behind. Judo Joker was towards Far Cry 2, Splinter Cell, Double Agent, Teardown. King Venomui is towards Borderlands 4, Cyberpunk, Dead Space. Game Geek is towards EO, Extreme Racer, Naruto, etc., and Halo SPV3. Thank you, all of you, for your subs. It's better be nice walls. I painted these damn things. What's really funny, painting the ceiling, I'm really happy with it. I have no complaints. It looks great. I'm not showing it to you. I've just got the camera, so I'm not showing. I'm really happy with it. Like, it's basically flawless. The walls were nothing but a non-stop hassle, and in fact, I'm technically not done, but I have to wait a few days to let the paint settle before I actually bother to get the rest of the touching up done. So that's cool. 62. Does the light work? So the electrician wasn't here today. Why are you set up then, Lore? I got sick of waiting. So I have a slightly different situation. You don't know. It probably looks identical to you. But where everything is a little bit different in order to accommodate the fact that there is space for him to be able to access where he needs to access. Hey, Adam Ciuta. Yeah, by the way, I am not coming back to streaming anytime soon. This is not a coming back to streaming thing. This is a make sure you go and vote thing. I'll explain in a minute. On the plus side, the guys who are going to come by to do the hardwood floor finishing are not showing up tomorrow. Now, the reason I say plus, obviously it would be nice if we just get it over with. All our stuff is on that floor. And there's nowhere else for it to go. So, like, the option right now would basically be to dump it all in the garage. Where there's no room because all the appliances are in the garage, like the stove and stuff. Okay, so worst games. Third birthday. Shin 52. I'm surprised no one's even heard of that. Amnesia, Rebirth. Assassin's Creed Unity. Beast Wars Transform. bunch of games I never even heard of in here. Big Rigs, Over the Racing, Bubsy 3D, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, Chrono Cross, don't think that deserves a list, but whatever. Civilization 7, Dead to Rights 2, Delta Force, Black Hawk Down. Never even heard of that one either. What else we got there? Deus Ex, Invisible War, Devil May Cry 2, Diablo Immortal, DMC Devil May Cry. Oh, my health has been doing great, dude. It's fine. I'm eating less and massively stressed. You like my shirt, by the way? You probably can't tell. This is my painting shirt. I haven't even changed up my painting shirt. You have a painting shirt, right? If you don't, you should. You just have a paint. I actually have painting shorts on too. And it's what you wear when you paint. And the reason it's your painting shirt is you don't care if it gets paint on it. That's its point and purpose. Donkey Kong 64. TV. Hang on. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 1. Dragon Ball Z Sagas. Sensing a trend here. Rock N. Never heard of that one. Duke Nukem Forever. Obvious. E.T. Atari. Most of the submissions I excluded are going to get caught by this voting phase, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's just licensed games in general. Echo the Dolphin. Final Fantasy 11. Final Fantasy 7. Congrats. Yankee. Woo! The kids have a bed. Yay! Yeah, I noticed there's no notification. Give me a sec. You're so impatient. So impatient. I got it. Final Fantasy 14 1.0. The worst game ever made. GTA Online. Oh my god. Haunted Castle. Hoshi wo Miro Hito. Another one of the worst games ever made. Went down the Freeman. Never heard of that. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Titles are too long. Lionheart Legacy of the Crusader. Never heard of that one either. Goofy on the DS. Yeah, that qualifies. Mario Kart Super Circuit. Please remember you can vote for multiple things. Do not forget. Mega Man X7. Member the Alamo. Metal Morph. I'm shocked anybody even remembers Metal Morph. Metroid Other M. Is Long Dark over? No. Am I okay? No. Are you okay? Better question, Linera. You're in a worse situation than I am. Hang on. I saw a sub gift. It was from Kennex account. Which has been towards absolutely nothing. I'm kidding. I just said it's for Jack Block. Jedi Survivor. Zero Object Bomber. I will figure out what's going on later. I swear to God. Yakuza 0. Nehru is putting that towards, I don't know, Patch Night, I guess, for the next thing. Wing Commander and Earth Masters. I haven't looked at the site, which is tracking direct donations yet, because there's like 5, and I don't know why those aren't going through, and I different what they're not going through. I will check, I swear. M. Microsoft Flight Simulator 4. Maybe number 9. Hang on, could someone do me a favor and check something for me? Is Neverwinter Nights 2 one of the options on the best vote? Okay, it is. You can tell I'm just brain dead jotting down. When I get into data entry, I'm just not processing what I'm typing. I was about to just be amused because Carbon Cry is the one who nominated that one, and I was just going to be amused that he decided to remove the nomination because I refused to let him nominate just one expansion for the best DLC, or the best game ever. Paper Mario Star. Pokemon Scarlet Violet. Good luck with that one. Retribution. Titan World. Don't even know what that is. Secret of the Stars. Currently, the worst game we've ever covered. Currently. Got a Warrior 2. I don't know what that is. Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures. That's a deep cut. Sim City 2013. Hang on, Surging Phoenix. I'm going to finish typing up this, and then I'm going to update the bot so that people can type Voot and get a link to both votes. But I'll explain in a moment. Right now I'm brain dead, so give me a second. Sonic the Hedgehog. 6. Spyro. Enter the Dragonfly. Star Citizen. Yeah. Star Fox Zero. Probably doesn't belong here. Star Trek Shattered Universe. Starfield. Game of Thrones Telltale. 2014. Ultima 9. Oh god. Warcraft 3 Reforged. I sure hope so, Wolverine. And Zelda. CDI games. I'm just gonna put CDI games. I'm not gonna put the actual name of the games. That way people know what it is. Okay. Make sure I haven't set to multiple choice. Yes. And we should be good to go. I'm sure, Mr. Ed, could you have said that literally 20 seconds earlier? Because I can't edit a vote. And I'm not retyping that. Alright, let's set up the bot so that people can get links, and then I'll explain what the hell's going on here. When I said set up the bot, I didn't mean the bot is set up. Oh my god. Okay, now type vote, please. Exclamation mark vote. Oh, God. There we go. How's that tough? Okay, there's a link to the best, there's a link to the worst. So let me explain what the hell's going on. First of all, for those of you not aware, something I've been kicking around for a while now, and decided since I have access to just my phone and nothing else, might as well jump on this, is I've wanted to do a Lore Walkers poll for the best games ever made. The criteria for best, I have been very deliberately hands-off on. If you think it's best because of significance, if you think it's best because of, like, substance or quality or personal, whatever. As long as it's what you consider to be best, that's the important part, not favorite. Favorite's going to be a different thing we're going to do later, okay? Cool. And then someone mentioned, why don't we do worst? And I didn't have a good counter-argument for that, so yes, we're going to be doing a worst. Yes, that is 136 entries in the best list, Living Earth. And that's the problem. So when we are going to go ahead and set all this up for the actual vote, which this is not, this is preliminary voting. This is round 1, okay? I can only add 30 entries. I don't mean to flex my gigantic math brain, but 136 is slightly more than 30. So this needs to be pared down. So this vote is just as important. Hi, Valerian. This vote is just as important as the final vote. This is going to be determining the candidates for the best games and for the worst games, which will be 30 games. It'll be the top 30 of both categories. So please feel free to take a look. It's alphabetized to make it a little bit easier to parse. You can obviously pick more than one thing. If you really wanted to, you could actually select each game on the list and vote for all of them. Please don't do that. That sort of defeats the point. End story, I suppose. And I'm going to leave this up for a nice, decent chunk of time in order to allow for plenty of people to get in here and voot and select whatever, and you get the general idea. And I'm going to leave that bot up. So that bot, this is important. That bot is up. Okay, Pika. That bot is up whether I am streaming or not. That's the always online bot. So even if I'm not actually streaming and you need a link to the vote, you can just go pull up my chat, type !vote, and you will get a link to it. Make sense? Von Falkenstein, nobody nominated FF8, including you. I do not want to hear anybody complaining about not nominating, because the people who can nominate are you. Also, we have too many nominations, as is. A slightly related problem. And yes, there are a couple of options. I honestly anticipate there will be many things which only get like one vote. And that's another reason why we need to pare this down, because some of these games, no offense, are not going to get any votes, right? Nobody's going to vote for Aurora 4X for best game, and nobody's going to vote for Pokemon Violet for worst game, right? Come on. So this will be a good way to kind of pare that down and get it to a reasonable number and things that might actually qualify for best and worst. Now let me catch up on donations again. Oh my god, guys. Not that I can complain. This last 3 weeks has been actually rather expensive. So thank you, Surging Phoenix, very much. I will jot that down for Final Fantasy Tactics. Simpsons Hit and Run. And Skies of Arcadia. And Bragwin, thank you for the sub. But if you know what you want to put that towards, please let me know. Oh god, I'm tired, guys. And you're probably thinking, why are you tired? You have nothing to do. Let me explain something about physiology to you for a second. I want you to imagine that you go out and you get a job with a drill, right? Like you go digging. Look, you guys didn't nominate it, Stuzy, okay? Don't look at me. I'm completely hands off in that crowd. It's all you guys. So you go to, you're digging a hole and you're working with your hands. You get sweaty and worn out. And then you come home. You're probably a little wiped. But otherwise, because of the nature of how your body works, you're actually pretty energized because it's in go mode. And you've been working your body, so your muscles are working, your lungs are working, your heart's working. Everything's cool. Now let's say you have a job where you stand in place for the same amount of time. So whatever the shift time is, right? Which of these do you think is more wearying? Maybe wearying isn't the right job, but I think you get the idea. Taxing is a good word. You will be more tired after the standing there job. Let's just put it very simply. Your body's not doing anything. Yeah, no, we're meant for movement. We are designed around movement, around action, around interaction. It's one of the reasons why it's so frustratingly difficult to lose fat, to use something tangentially related. Because our body is so incredibly efficiently designed towards being ready to go at a moment's notice. Okay, so this is called Lord of the Rings Tactics. Let's see if I can find this. Lord of the Rings. There it is. Lord of the Rings, The Tactics. I've never even heard of this. Okay, whatever. It's here. And yes, I realize that the list is huge. Take your time. Take your time voting. That's the whole point. thoroughness is more appreciated than anything else. And honesty, I suppose. We get along. Okay, and then Bragwin. Putting that towards Bug Fables, Hi-Fi Rush, Hyzar, and Dead Rising, and then Nameless Baron is putting that towards Yakuza Kiwami 2, Shot Roulette, and Dealer's Choice. Thank you, Baron. Okay, caught up on donations. Holy crap. Oh, but yeah, I'm white. It has been an interesting 3 weeks. My favorite part? If I had, like, my bed, it wouldn't be as bad, or my chair. But for a decent chunk of the last 3 weeks, I have had one or neither of those things. There's this, you've probably seen it. There's a chair that's usually right here where my niece sits when she's playing Pikmin with me. And that's the chair I've had for a decent chunk of the last couple of weeks. So put that towards Patch Night, Steamroll Block, and Skyrim. Thank you, Wenlock. As always. Yeah, I know, Bregwin. I used to work fast food. I also used to work retail, so I've kind of seen both of those. Oh my god. Computer's here. I just got my computer set up, like, maybe 40 minutes before I hit go on stream. I've been trying to get this vote set up and ready to go so people can start voting. Hi, Wolverine. Or wait, hi, Morganite, excuse me. I don't know when I'm coming back from there. I haven't done any of the work I needed to get done, except for like some of the most highest priority stuff, like taxes. I mean, I wouldn't trust anything those leaders say with a 10-foot pole, but as long as you're okay, that's the important part. I hate it that people do that, right? Ignoring the obvious fact that it's slovenly, for lack of a better way to put it. It's really unpleasant to the people who work at the place that deals with taxes. Oh my god. You can tell how brain dead I am, that I can't actually think of the name of the damn acronym. IRS, thank you, the IRS. Yeah, no, the IRS is so persistently portrayed as the villains in fiction, and I've always found that amusing, because working at the IRS sucks, and it is criminally underfunded. In fact, one of the things Trump pushed through recently was reducing the budget of the IRS. So, that's cool. Someone asked me recently. They're like, why do you keep talking about politics? I was like, okay. I want to explain something to you. I want you to imagine that there's this gorilla that is throwing poop at you. And you don't want to deal with that, right? You can't defeat the gorilla. You don't have a gorilla. You don't have an elephant gun on you. So you go inside, and then the gorilla breaks down the door and starts throwing poop on the walls. You're like, okay, I'm just going to retreat to my room. And the gorilla breaks into your room. You can't escape it, is the point. I do try not to talk about it too much, because I know we're all sick to death of it. But for the love of God, it's kind of hard to escape the poop-throwing gorilla. Anyways. Okay. I see people voting, which makes me happy. Let's see, where are we at for worst? Oh my god. I see lots of things with 0 votes, and something about that makes me happy. Because that's the whole point, right? Remember, it's going to be the top 30. Whatever the top 30, that's going to be the stuff that gets pulled in. And in case you missed it, the reason why it is 30 is because for the actual voting software I'll be using for the final vote, it can only accept 30 entries. There is a best and a worst. If you type !vote, you will get a link to both. And that is some wonderful thunder. Oh wow, it's boring. Oh crap. When did that start? We're in some dark in here. Really, Rex? Okay, sure. That might as well be a thing. How the hell, Valerian? Actually, I feel really bad during... So, some of you may have noticed a bunch of Warhammer games just got dropped on Steam. And I was like, okay, cool, that's awesome. And then one of the person... What are people... I'll even tell you, it's... oh god, I can't think of it. Scion of the Emperor donated one of the games and says, here, I want to add this to the list. I'm like, okay. I can't get it streamable. I get a game, it's running. Can't stream it. I hate that. I hate having to tell someone, thanks, but I can't. Oh, God. I have so much work to do. So, yes, several people are asking how much Dark is left. So, let me explain something dumb to you. And I'm going to use a roundabout way of explaining this because I lack the ability to summarize. That's not true. I'm actually very good at summarizing. But right now, I'm brain dead. So you're going to go with me on a ride, okay? Quite a few times in film and in video games both, there's this phenomenon where something gets delayed and 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 delayed, and then finally, whatever the problem was, is fixed. And it's like, okay, let's go ahead and make the film, let's go ahead and make the game. But the problem is, the people making the decisions here look at that and think, well, we've been in development of this for 5 years. Nothing's happened. Nothing's been made. But we've already sunk 5 years worth of budget and time and resources into making this game and or movie. So now you only get like 9 months or 12 months or 11 months or whatever, right? Because now they want you to hurry the hell up because they don't want that wait to be any longer. Here's the problem. None of the developments actually happened. So in reality of land, all that means is the actual development time is extremely tiny. Final Fantasy 15, Dragon Age, Veilguard, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, the Hobbit trilogy. There are actually quite a few examples of this, and all of them have the same basic problem. Because there's this giant gap, you want to hurry up to get on with it. So because I haven't been able to do anything dark, has been sitting here, and I've just lost 3 weeks of my life, my inclination is to hurry the hell up and get done with all the stuff I need to get done. Unfortunately, I have a brain, and I know that's stupid, so for all intents and purposes, the dark has just started. Sense make? I'm not going to be like those idiot executives. I'm going to start the development time now. I have work to do. I have off-camera work. I have several reviews to clean up, which I want to do. Some of you who actually managed to see the April Fool's video know that I actually want to, at the very least, start trying out a movie review. I've been wanting to do that for actual years. I've got a list of stuff. Let's see here if I can just summarize this for you. Here we go. So, I have to audit those games right there. I want to start movie reviews. I've got some music stuff to do. I've got some code stuff to do. I swear there's actually something else. Maybe I have it on my phone. Because, I've been stuck with my phone for weeks. And If that doesn't sound like hell, I challenge you to do that for a while. Just don't have access to your computer for an extended period of time. All you have is your phone. You learn some things. So that's the other problem, Mr. Red. By definition, I can't actually... How do I phrase this? Oh yeah, I also have to finish with my car crap, because... I don't know how many people know the car crap story. So that's another thing that's delaying this. That's more of a real life thing. Words. I've already lost it. God, I am so brain dead. Oh, right. Are there more dark streams planned? That's the other problem. Okay. So here's the other problem. Because of... I had to take 2 weeks off to get the house ready for listing. You remember that? That was last summer. Like June or something like that. And then sometime around last July, I want to say, I then had to evacuate that house and move into my father-in-law's. Remember that? And I was there for several months. So that was a second dark when I got set up there. Then I had to move here. That's our third dark. And then I had to do everything that I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. That's 4 darks in less than a year. That is way too many darks and way too much productivity time lost. And when I say darks, I shouldn't call them that because it's inaccurate. Because I didn't get any work done. That was working on real life crap. It's like Valerian mentioned. That was disaster, natural disaster stuff. So that was 4 periods of my time which I couldn't get any work done. So I have a backlog of work I need to get done. And I can't really justify taking an actual dark for basically another year. Like, bare minimum, I'm starting at 8 months of not being able to take a dark, so just 8 months of streaming. In other words, Mr. Red, I have to make sure I get everything done this dark, so I don't have to do another one anytime soon. The good news is I've already started work on some of the extra archiving stuff, and in fact, if you go check the archives page right now, you might notice it's actually different. So that's cool, that's done. That's cool. So car crap, right? So I moved states. I don't think that's a secret. We moved west, north and west. That's all I'm telling you. And it's raining. There you go, there's your big hint. It's raining somewhere in the continental U.S. And so I have learned more details about what happened since then. You could still say some of this blame is on me for not doing my due diligence. Acceptable. I will accept that blame. However, the problem is what's supposed to happen is you get a loan in order to get a car. You pay off the loan. The bank, who you got the loan with, mails you the check, the title, saying, hey, here's your title for your car. The bank never mailed me the title. Now, I was already tagged and plated and ready to go by that point in time, so it never really came up. This is the my fault part. I never doubled back and figured out where my title was. Yeah, the bank never been able to. I actually have never had the title to my car. I've had it paid off, like fully paid off for 3 years. Never had the title for it, the physical title. Obviously, digitally, I do actually have the title because that's how that works. It is in my name. It is in the database, etc. And I can prove that like 12 different ways. But I don't have the physical title. That's important because I got here and they refuse to let me plate and tag the thing without the physical title. Even though, once again, I have the digital title and everything in the world proving it's my car. I don't live in the previous state anymore. So you could probably see immediately the problems here. Just getting a hold of a human being to figure out what was required to fix this was a whole thing. Now, finally did get a hold of someone. This is, by the way, oh God, 7 weeks ago, I want to say? So I get a hold of someone, and she's nice, she's helpful, and she says, okay, yeah, mail this form along with, you know, this money to this location. And I'm like, cool. So I do it. They mail me back, and they say it's the wrong amount of money. You need $18. I'm like, okay, cool. So I adjust the check, mail it right back to them. 2 weeks pass. I get a thing back, which says what I can only refer to as nonsense. Like, it's a form letter, so it says, this is being returned to you because there's an issue with the following, colon, and then it lists the issue. The issue in question was gibberish and had nothing to do with anything. Now, you may or may not remember this, but my father-in-law actually works at the DOT, which is the Department of Transportation. Not directly the Department of Motor Vehicles, but close enough that I decided to, you know, ask him, hey, what does this mean? And his response was, I have no idea, it's gibberish. Was kind of relieved to hear that, if I'm being honest. Our best guess was that they wanted a lien letter. For those of you not aware, a bank will send you a letter saying you're good, right? A release of lien or something like that is what it's called. I have that letter, the original letter for that, the one signed and sealed and everything else, notarized, etc. Once again, I can prove it's my car. So I'm like, okay. I decided to go ahead and get a hold of another nice person. Yay. Thankfully, I remember the number from last time, because they do not advertise it anywhere. Talk to her, and I'm like, hey, listen, let's cut through all this. I know you have a record of every letter your department puts out. Here is the exact ID code of this letter. Da, 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 da. She pulls it up, and then there's this pause, and she says, I don't know what this is saying. It's gibberish. It's just gibberish. She thinks someone used a chatbot, an AI chatbot, in order to punch out some nonsense, because it makes no sense. The only thing it even references, which is the same thing my father-in-law put it out, was the lien. But again, not only do I have that letter handy, but she actually checked their systems while I had her on the phone, and I have no lien on my account, which makes sense. It's been paid off for over 3 years. Hi, Sean. Give me 1 sec, please. Let me finish the story. So we talk about it. I'm like, what do I do here? Because I'm not in the state. So we boil down, there's 2 options. Option 1, I sent back everything. Like freaking everything. I send the MV1 letter, I send the check for $18. I send a new check for $8 because she insists it's $8 and not $18. So an $8 check and an $18 check just in case, and the letter, and the release on the lien letter, and a front and back of my driver's license, and I forget, like some other piece of paper. Basically everything that could possibly be required for something like this. Like if they decided to be obstinate about it. And I mailed that off last week. Given the turnaround time, I should be hearing back from them sometime next week, hopefully with my freaking title, because the other option is much more frustrating. The other option is I'm going to have to go, there is actually a very specific form for this, and give power of attorney just over my car, because that's a thing. Power of attorney is not a generic thing. You can give it on specific individual aspects of your life. I'm going to have to give power of attorney to my father-in-law. Mail him the notarized power of attorney law thing. Give him all the information and say, please walk into a freaking office, sit down with a human being and fix this, and then mail the title up to me, please. Because after that, there is no other option. Like, the option after that is flying myself down there for a day to walk into the DMV. These are my options in order of horribleness. power of eternity. Thank you for the sub, Sean. I apologize for missing your birthday. In my defense, I didn't want to miss your birthday. Yeah, no, the worst case scenario is it's about $1,000, by the way. So that's great. It's just to fly down for a couple days and deal with it. That's the car situation. And the thing about that, I'm basically guaranteed, because of how long this has taken, to be fined for all of this. Because the state I'm in, I'm like insured in, but not tagged in, right? And that cross-connect can cause issues. So there's a pretty good chance I'm going to have to pay some kind of a fine when I finally get my title and can walk in and say, it's my goddamn car, please give me a tag and a plate. But the point is, I need to do that immediately, which means the moment I get that title, one way or another, I need to go do that. I need to physically go to the DMV and talk to someone and be irritated by it. So it's another reason. It's another thing I want to get done before I get back to streaming. That's cool. So Sean's is going towards Little Kitty Big City, Ragmata, which I've heard good things about, and Chrono Gear. And then Ross is putting it towards nothing. Hi, Rama. Okay, hang on. Hang on. I, Bowser, King of the Koopas, declare Mass Effect to be the best trilogy. Oh, sorry, you probably mean Mass Effect 1. To be Mass Effect 1 to be the best of the trilogy. Echo the Dolphin 2. 13 Sentinels. Fire Emblem, 3 houses. There we go. Oh. I'm tired. Oh my god. Oh my god. Nutella is announcing a flavor, everyone. It's peanut. Sorry. Alright. Does the light switch work? That's a great question. That's a great question. I don't really have a way to show you the blank metal plate where the light should be. It's right there. I could prove it, I swear. I don't feel like jumping through the hoops that's going to require. Right, I need to figure out why it's not doing that. Yeah, the electrician has not shown up yet. I have... You can't tell. I have an adjusted setup specifically to make that spot nice and big. So I've technically got a nice big empty space over there. You may or may not notice I have a lot of empty space behind me, too, because a bunch of stuff is not in here. At least the outlet works. I also don't have a Switch. No, I don't mean the Nintendo Switch. I mean... Okay, this thing, right? Well, the plate is off, and the cables are just sitting there. That's what I mean. Hi, Ventures. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to kill me. They would, Bragwin. Unfortunately, I have a functional brain. Yeah, at some point, so when the electrician shows up, he's actually going to turn off everything, ostensibly, because he's actually upgrading our breaker, too. So everything is going to be off when that happens. So, yet another reason that the dark isn't ending anytime soon. That's what like the 4 reasons now. There's the car, there's the electricity, there's the fact that I have some frickin' work to do, and there's the fact that I need to make absolutely sure I don't need another dark because I can't make one for the rest of the year. Like, the whole idea is the next dark will be the 2026 Game of the Year, the Low Walker Awards. How do I sound, by the way? The audio should actually sound a little bit differently. It should technically sound worse because I don't have any padding up. But I am curious how the audio sounds like in terms of volume is the big thing. If it sounds normal and you can't tell the difference, then we're good. No, I should be echoey because all I have is blank walls right now. Putting up like the blankets I use for posters will actually help a little bit with the echo. Not too much, but a little bit. I'm gonna put one over there too. Get the usual ones back up here. Can't do that yet because I'm not done painting yet. Ceiling looks nice, I guess. I'm actually really proud. You can't see it, but over there, I used, I can't quite reach it, it's right over there. Paint tape, right? Blue paint tape. And if you don't know, lining that up is much harder to do than it sounds to make it straight. I'm really proud of it because it is just a straight line, dividing line, and it goes from this kind of tan khaki color to a very pale white. It looks really good. I'm very proud of that. That was me. I get credit for that. Nobody else does. Well, except for Rax. She gets credit, obviously. I got 120 stars in Mario 64. Does that count for it? Oh, right. I actually need to test that. That's a good point. I should actually do that legitimately. Let's make sure this works. Please just work. Please tell me I just hooked everything up cool and we're cool. That doesn't look like we're cool. Okay, hang on. Hey, we're cool. Everything's cool. Size is a little wrong, but I can live with that. No, you're going to look at this. You're going to look at this, and you're going to hate me for it. Sorry, Linares. But I don't care. Because you're going to look at this.
It's me, Mario! Hello!
You see that? Do you see that? 120. Now,
Okie dokie.
for those of you who don't understand, allow me to explain briefly. First of all, getting 120 stars in Mario 64 is absolutely goddamn miserable. If you remember, we were at 116 during the run. This is actually the same save we used when we reviewed this game. So I fired this save up because I've got my Switch and nothing to do for weeks. I'm like, okay, sure, screw it. I want to play something miserable and hate my life because I don't want to play something good while I'm otherwise uncomfortable and in pain. I know that sounds strange. I know I'm weird. Whatever. I didn't want to play a good game. So I played Mario 64. Yes, I realize what I'm saying. Got all the way up here. And I'm like, okay, I'm missing 4 stars. Now, Mario 64, for those of you not aware, doesn't actually tell you which stars you're missing, as strange as that may sound. Let me explain. Wrong button. So, it'll tell you these stars. Right there. And it'll tell you if you got the 100 coin star. But when it comes to the secret stars, all it says is how many secret stars you have. That's it. That's all. I had 14, and I knew there were 15. So, logically speaking, I assume that the one I'm missing is this one. If those of you not aware, this is the worst star in the entire game. Like, this is the actual... That's not a joke. This is the worst star in the entire game, is getting all the red coins on this stupid level. And flying around from between these stupid islands, getting all these coins, and there's... Like, I could zoom in the camera and really explain, but this stage sucks. So I spend a not insubstantial amount of time getting this stupid star. And I get, I get the 8th coin, I'm awesome, and the camera zooms over, and I see a blue star pop up. On the off chance you don't know what that means, in Mario 64, when you've already gotten a star, you can get it again, it's just blue, which means I did all that for nothing. By the way, there are many reasons this level sucks, but I can actually demonstrate the single worst thing about it right now. You ready for this? The worst thing about this star is this. Whenever you fall, and you will, you end up in the water, of course, in what is literally, not figuratively, literally the furthest away point from the level that you can be. You start out in the water, have to get back out of the water, and have to go all the way back inside, and then upstairs again, and then make the jump again, and then get back to the thing. Thankfully I can save scum. No, I can't! Unless there's some way to do that on the actual N64. There's no save states here. There's no rewind. It's just the game. So... I had to do this legit. I say had to. I did this legit. Terraria, Digimon, Storytime Stranger, and Open RCT2. Thank you, Wolverine, for the sub. Always appreciate you.
I'm Italian.
Shut up, Mario. Nobody loves you. So, that sucks. So I run around trying to figure it out, and after a little bit of work, I deduce it is one of 6 stars. It's either one of the Hat stars or one of the Bowser stars. Based on that, I decide it's probably the last Bowser star, and since I have to beat the game anyways, I'm going to go ahead and sit on that. So sure, no, whatever. I've got 3 other stars to get. One of them is the last star in the clock level, and the other 2, I should say, are the 100 coins in Rainbow Ride and the clock level. Nothing I say to you will properly explain how miserable and frustrating it was getting those coins. In fact, I kind of wish I had somehow been recording it and then could edit it, because I could probably make it look funny. Because what actually happened, this is not a joke, what actually happened was I got up to, like, I don't know, 60 coins in the Rainbow Ride level, and then, like, for those of you who know, the controls in this game are terrible, and so, and turned around, did that weird thing I just did, perfectly, where you did that weird looping thing, went right over the edge and fell to my death. All progress lost. Then I put the controller down and walked away from the game for a while. So I can make that funny, right? I was pissed, but I can make it funny. Like, I can just, footstep sounds, closing door sound. Hi, Zero. Make sure you vote. Make sure you vote thoroughly. So I don't remember how long. It was just this arduous, miserable time. One of my favorite attempts... Let me show you something. This is so stupid. This is so badly designed. All the levels up here suck, by the way. I guess there's only 3, but all 3 of them are garbage. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. No. Yes, I am. I'm going the wrong way. Going the wrong way. Pay attention. Pay attention. There are only 2 Mario games I've ever enjoyed 100%ing. And they're the most recent ones. Actually, you know what? I take that back. No, I enjoyed 100%ing New Mario Luigi U and New 3D World. Or not new, just 3D World. So 3D World, New U, Odyssey, and Wonder. Those are the ones that I truly enjoyed 100%ing. Each of the games I just mentioned has like a bump in the road kind of a thing, but all of them were just enjoyable the other 99% of the time. So this level sucks, of course. So, I'm just gonna skip ahead to something to show you something. There's actually 140 coins on this level, but the problem with that is a lot of them are in one spot. They will actually straight up push you off the ledge, by the way. No, I am not back, but thank you for asking. Alright, so, this right here, do you see this nonsense? This is the worst thing. So, there are, I believe, 35 coins worth of coins in this blue block, okay? So if for whatever reason you don't get this blue block, you have extremely tight margins to get the 100 coins. And a lot of the other coins can be permanently missed, since a lot of the coins come from enemies, and the enemies, once an enemy dies, the coins spawn out of them, so they could fall off of the ledge, right? So this nonsense requires you to do this. Yep, already making my point here. Oh, yep, yeah. So. Thank you, me, for making that point. So, there's basically everything wrong with that jump. And I can like, explain that objectively. Because, first of all, the blue block, for whatever reason, has extremely tight timing. If you don't make the initial jump, the initial wall bounce, you're not going to get them. It is not possible. You do not have enough time. But the second problem is it's essentially a 2D interaction. You have to go back and forth up the wall. If there's any kind of angle, right, then you're going to go do a jump, do an angle, and, like just happened to me, plummet to your death. So, naturally, the jump's here, and you start over here. So you have to move at it, then adjust your angle, and hope you got the angle straight, and as you saw, I didn't. And then do the hops back up, and you cannot miss any jump, or else you fail. The attempt where I finally got the 100 coins was the attempt where I successfully made the jump, got all the way to the top, and got all 35 coins. Because let me tell you, one of the previous attempts, I got all but 3 of the coins, so I'm down 15. I then spent about 30 minutes very slowly but thoroughly scouring the entire rest of the level for every coin I could find. I ended up with 96. If I had gotten one more blue coin, I would have had it. But there were no more coins in the entire level. Screw that. By contrast, the clock level was almost a relief after that. It's still miserable and sucks, but at least it's like not just platforms in the middle of nowhere and hardly any coins. Like really just going through the clock level, you'll get 100 coins as long as you pick up all of them as you're going to the top. And then I just destroyed Bowser in like 2 minutes. And then I'm like, well, shoot, I did that. Now what? Well, this is the save we used during the run for Mario Galaxy. You'll notice it has 120 stars now. I actually had 104, I want to say. And I looked at that like, I could do that, yeah. Now, for those of you familiar with Mario Galaxy, you might say, well, that's not 100%, and you're right, and I'm never doing that again, because I have already done that. I already 100% of this game back on the Wii. And for those of you not aware, the 100% number is not 120 or even 121, it's actually 242. I'm not doing that again. I am satisfied with having gotten all 120 stars. But I want to show you, because there were only 2 stars I had trouble with. Everything else was actually pretty smooth. Because Mario Galaxy is a better game than Mario 64. Don't at me. But can anyone guess the 2 I actually had issues with? I'll give you a hint, they're both purple coin stars. Too late, Rex. Most people hold Mario 64 or Mario 3 as the best Mario games ever made. I am not one of those people. So this is just... It's hard to even explain why this sucks so badly. So let me first start by saying that they like to do things like this. Oh, there's a coin here. And in case you missed that, because I knew it was there, I knew to stop. But there's just this tiny ledge. There's a whole lot of just bottomless pits everywhere. And obviously, no progress is saved, so at any given point in time, if you fail, you die and you have to start all the way over again. By the way, this takes a while, because they are absolutely all over the place. But the second thing that happened, I didn't have it that time. So you see that jump I just made? That is functionally the only way to get over to the second half of the island here. And I was doing really well. I had like 40 of the coins, and I had to do that jump again, and I did the jump, and for whatever reason, Mario just didn't grab the second vine. To this day, I don't know what happened exactly. He just decided not to, and naturally plummeted to his death. So I put the game down for a while, walked away from it. There was a lot of that during this whole process. And I just spent absolutely forever scouring this stupid level and finding all of these stupid purple coins and getting every stupid purple coin of this level. And then I went and did like all the super ridiculously hard levels that are timed and just crushed them one shot. Because, of course, I'm going to have trouble with the easy level, right? Hi, Junk Garage. Thank you for the sub. I mean, that would have been nice, Mr. Red. Now imagine, instead of getting better, it gets worse. Imagine it's like the most bog-standard illumination film you've ever seen. In a bad way, obviously. It's the McDonald's of animation. And I absolutely mean that as an insult, by the way. Except there's references. Everywhere there's references. So we're putting that towards... Whoop. Voyager. FF7R1, FF7R2. Despicable Me is one of only two Illumination films that are not garbage. Everything else is just different varieties and flavors of said garbage. Including Despicable Me 2 and 3 and 8 and 15. What's really funny, most of their films follow an extremely static pattern. They, come up with a thing, like Minions, or like Despicable Me, or like Sing. And I can't remember the other. There's another big one. Oh yeah, Secret Life of Pets. That's the one. And those initial films are fine. Except Despicable Me, which is actually decent. So, for the most part, they're just fine. And then every subsequent sequel gets worse. For those of you not aware, I'm not just speaking in terms of my own personal opinion here. Professionally speaking, Illumination films suck. They use a tremendous amount of shortcuts and resources, by the way, that's the kind of nonsense you have to do in this level, in order to make the film as cheap as possible. Just to try and drive down the costs. That's actually how Illumination makes their money, is they are very cheap, relatively speaking, films to make. I mean, even the Mario Galaxy film was, what, a $110 million budget, which is a joke. For a film of that size and it's a perfect Mario film. You think that's bad? There were 2 coins I was missing on this one, Rax, and I'm about to show you them. So for those of you who haven't played Mario Galaxy 1, I would say it has one flaw greater than any other flaw, and that's that you have essentially no camera control. There are certain specific zones where you have camera control. Everywhere else the camera is automatic, and you have no ability to affect it. So you're completely at the mercy of the camera, which means... Oh, by the way, your controls are relative to the camera. not you. So, when you do something like this and very suddenly have to deal with this shifting perspective, I even missed one just now. I missed 2 coins on that. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's not a big deal, just go back up top. If you don't understand where this just dropped me, this is at the opposite end of the entire level from where I just was. Which, yes, also involves having to do this thing again. I never had that bug again with the vine, but every single time I had to take that vine back across, I was just wincing. And yes, so, to respond to Darth Sinka, Mario Sunshine's actually a pretty solid game for the first few levels, like, really solid. And Delfino Plaza is one of the best hubs they've ever made, like, in any of these games. But there's a reason I call it Sunshine Syndrome. And remember, we gotta do this again. Oh, almost missed that. Now, do you think I'm gonna get it this time? Oh, dude, Sunshine is... I've only 100%ed Sunshine once, and I will never do it again. Like, I've 100%ed 64, 4 times in my life, counting a couple weeks ago. I've 100%ed Mario Galaxy 1 once, but functionally, you know, like I just did, like 3 times, etc., etc. Most Mario games I actually enjoy 100%ing to some extent or another. There we go. But, 100%ing Sunshine is just miserable, even with a walkthrough. Anyways, the other level I had issues with, and I have no... I don't know why. I'll show you what happened. It was really pathetic. Hello, Evo. Merry Christmas, Evo. And I give her, like, this giant piece of cake. She's been doing really good stuff with her game. I'm very proud of her. Whee! I introduced her to this brand new, insane 2026 technology called a spreadsheet to help her organize with some of her work. It's been great. Well, I've never reviewed Shrek 2, but I've also watched it like 10 times, so I feel more comfortable saying that Shrek 2 is actually a good film. Where's the level? There it is. Where's that? Dreadnought. There it is. Garden. Okay. Further up. I'm poking fun. She's been doing great work. I'm very proud of her. Not that she cares. I mean, for those of you not aware, the Mario Galaxy movie, Mario Galaxy 2 movie, whatever. Illumination made the film, and they had a couple of people, literally 2 guys, one of which was Miyamoto, basically on hand to suggest references, and it shows. That's the nicest way I could put that. You could tell that the reference team and the make the film team are completely different groups. So here's how this level works. You see all those purple coins? You cannot miss any of them. If for whatever reason you miss one, you are dead and you have to start the level over. Yes! Now, if that doesn't sound particularly difficult, let me explain what this level is. Through visual presentation. So this is the level. This is it right here. They do put a 1-up right at the bat because they knew. God, they know. Something I'm not showing off properly is those shots have really huge hurt boxes. Like, think of the balls as actually a giant cube surrounding them. And that's actually the hurt box. This was the stage I was stuck on the longest, by quite a margin. Oops, shoot. By the way, you may not even be able to tell. And so you see how I just missed one? Well, I have now lost the level. That's it. Level over. This is just a dick move right here. I'll do all of this on a timer, obviously. But yeah, the reason I really was sucking on this one, because it's hard. Usually I'm really good at a hard level. Well, the problem I had was my first attempt, I was actually doing really well. And got all the way to the end. I'm not even sure I'll be able to show it to you. So I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to just get to the end. Because I want you to see. I want you to appreciate and experience what happens. God, why does it keep doing that? Okay, whatever. So if you get to the end without getting all 100 coins, there's a guy there. And the guy says, "Aw, you missed a few. That's pathetic. I feel bad for you." And then he murders you. This is not a joke. Now, you know that phenomenon where the first time you try something in a game, you do better than any other attempt? Yeah, so then I spent, God, I don't know how long. An hour? That's exaggerative. It wasn't nearly a lot long. But I just spent way too long just trying to get even back to that point. And I just kept failing at early on dumb stuff, right? Like, whoops, I missed a coin. Whoops, I flipped this way. Whoops, I went too far. Whoops, I'm dead. Just over and over and over and over. Hated it.
Oh.
But I did it. 120. And I'm never doing it again. I've also done 242. And I'm never doing that again either. Actually, I'm kind of curious. What was our Sunshine? Because this is the copy we were reviewing for Mario Sunshine. How many did we get here? Oops. Do I not get a list? Oh my god, do I not get a list? I don't get a friggin' list. I don't get a friggin' list. Whatever. So I've got 54 shines and 25 blue coins. Let's see. Let's see how many there are. Let's do this. Hi, Elizar. So first of all, there are... That cannot be right. Yeah, no, there are 120 shines. We have 54. Anyways, now that I've got a computer back, rather than doing that absolutely garbage activity, I'm going to get some actual work done. Remember, type !vote in order to get a link to the vote. Whether I am live or not, you will still be able to do that in the chat.